Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Cobra, the brand new Tier 9 British medium tank that is only available through the Battle Pass, and you couldn't get it the last Battle Pass season because it requires 24 tokens, and you could only get 21 tokens, I think, in the previous season. So today is the first day that you could have ever possibly acquired this thing and played it, and so I bought my way all the way up in the press account, and so I played a couple of games so I could get you guys a feel for it and show you some gameplay and figure out whether it's something you would want to play. And I will say, just right off the bat, it's very good. It's probably not great for the game in the same way that the GSOR 1008, that Tier 8 British tank destroyer, in the same way that that is not good for the game, I don't think this is good for the game either, because both of them, they feel very similar because they're very short intra-clip, and they can just, like, you find one of those and then you die. And so that's very frustrating. But also the reload is very long, so then you find yourself sitting and reloading for a long time too. So it's not very fun to play as, because you sit and wait a lot, but it's also not fun to play against because you get clipped out. So this is like par for the course for wargaming so far. So anyways, we'll get into the stats here and I'll show you some gameplay. So okay, so the Cobra is a 4-shot autoloader, and it has a very, very long drum reload. And the standard round is a heat round with 268 millimeters of pen, which is fine, right? That's pretty good. And 360 damage, which again, that's okay. That's actually fine. But the big thing here is that it also gets the premium round is a HESH round, a high penetration HE round that does 490 damage and has 210 pen, which is excellent. I think 210 is the same penetration that you get on the Charioteer HESH round or the Centurion 7-1. It's the same HESH round, except this one does more damage because reasons. And then I think this one does more damage. Now I have to know. Mediums. Okay. Mediums. Centurion Mark 1. Yes. Okay, this one does 480 with the HESH round, and the Cobra does 490. So more damage, but otherwise 210 penetration, which if you've ever played the Centurion 7-1, you know that the HESH round on that thing can actually do some work, penetration-wise. And then if you're cheap and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you can just use the standard HESH round, or the standard HE round, which is actually even more damage, 515, and that has a still respectable 120 millimeters of penetration, that's not, obviously not nearly as good, but that's still really good. You can mess some stuff up, especially like, God forbid you see some tier 7s. You load one of these, and then all of a sudden your 4-round clip does, let me see here, how much is it? 2,000 damage in 4.5 seconds. It's just stupid, So I will say right off the bat, I didn't do it in the game you're about to see, but after this game, I have determined that the HESH round is the standard round. this is the one you put on the first, and then I carry most of these. And then I carry maybe 2 clips of the heat rounds for if I'm shooting something like a mouse from the front, or something that I need to, like high penetration stuff. I keep a few of the heat rounds, but mostly this tank is played for the HESH rounds, and you'll see why. So that's basically the tank. I mean, and the penetration, let's see, the standard, the shell velocity is quite a bit faster on the HESH round than on the standard heat round for some reason. So you get HESH that's 1100 meters per second, which is silly. So your HESH round is actually really good. And the penetration is like the dispersion is not great, but like what am I trying to say here? So like it's got 10 degrees of gun depression. The things I noticed about it were like the top speed is limited, right? So you'll see it when I recommend the equipment and stuff. We can work on that. But the reverse speed is very good, and the power to weight, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. If it's just the traverse is very high and the gun traverse is very high, so it feels almost twitchy in like how quickly you can turn the turret and turn the hull, and and the ground resistances are good. So like mobility, like everything about the mobility is great except the top speed, and it's a good thing it's a medium tank and not a tank destroyer like it probably should be, because it gets a mobility slot, so you can fix that. The view range is not great, and the crew layout is also not great. It's a unique 3-man crew. This is not actually the same. It's very similar, but not the same as the GSOR 1000. This is the other one that has the only other tank in the higher tier higher tier British tanks that has a 3-man crew, and this has a radio. The commander is also a radio man and a loader, and the gunner is a loader. Well, this is the same 3-man, except the commander is not a loader. So I guess that's nice for intuition, because now you only need to train intuition on one thing to get the full effect of it. But yeah, still a 3-man crew, so you're still probably going to want to train a new crew for this, or you'll toss a crew in from something else that just won't have the loader skills or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be difficult unless you're training a crew for this tank. It's not going to be optimized because of the awkward crew layout. I hate that they do that. Anyways, so that's also going to make the view range that's going to make it hard to optimize, right? So anyway, so let's get into the armor. The armor is trollish at best. It's not great, right? So this is the heat round shooting itself, which is 268 pen, which is like this is basically if a tier 8 taps 2, tier 7s can't do this, but if a tier 8 loads premium rounds, this is what they'll see. And if a tier 9, other tier 9, usually they have this for their standard rounds. So tier 9s, you're gonna don't expect to bounce anything. And then tier 10s, again, they'll just, it's like, so the armor is really just kind of not there. You shouldn't expect to really bounce much. I mean, maybe you could get kind of cute with the using all kinds of gun depression, but you got all this, the turret cheeks and this underside. So all they have to do is aim at something flat, and you can see this, the turret is on a trunnion. So it's impossible, because this flat bit on the bottom does what it does, right? It is going to be impossible to hide it, right? Even if you're using all of that gun depression, you've still got that flat face that someone can shoot at. So I would say the turret is, or the armor is trollish at best, and definitely should not be relying on it, right? Because the back of it, the top of it, and all that stuff, that's all like 30 millimeters. So this is, you know, an artillery is going to just poop on you, and other Cobras are going to shoot their HESH rounds into your side, and they're going to pen. Anyways, so, you know, I think I bounced one thing, and I was like, wow, that's cool. But, like, otherwise, you shouldn't expect to bounce much of anything. And if you do, you're very lucky. Yeah, so, okay, we'll get into the equipment and build and equipment here. So, as far as field mods, I'm always taking the mobility, the module durability increase, because just because this is the right choice. I'm going to always take the improved sight, and I think I'm probably also going to take the anti-reflective headlight coating, because the reverse speed is already very good. And if you've got, you know, concealment, and let's see, put cam on your tank, your crew has concealment, and your brothers in arms or whatever, that's not that hard to get. Like, that puts you at, you know, decent workable camouflage, right? I'm going to run food because I'm a tryhard. I'll pick a scouting slot, I think, because that's going to be I think the decider, right? The alternate build layout, right? So the second build is where this will come up, but then the next one, this is important. So a lot of people are going to see this long reload, and they're going to say, oh my god, I definitely want the less reload time, and they'll do this, and this is the wrong answer. I think that, in my opinion, the reload is very long, and the difference between 44.5 and 42.5, those are both basically equally long, right? You're not gonna, it's not like, oh, now that I've cut off 2 seconds of my 42-second reload, I can get in there now. Like, you're still screwed in between your reloads. So this is the one, the new aiming gears is the most important thing, because this minus 15% to the aiming circle after firing is huge, because what that does for you is, especially on tanks like this that have a very short intra-clip, the 1.5 second intra-clip is insane. I can't believe they left that in the game. It should probably be 2 seconds, but it's 1.5 seconds. So normally it'll, like, a lot of tanks like this will shoot faster than they aim, because, you know, they'll shoot and then the reticle will bloom, and then they'll be ready, and, you know, start aiming, and then they'll shoot again, and then they'll shoot again, and so on. This means that bloom after it shoots is even tighter, so you're more likely to be able to shoot as quickly as you possibly can with this field mod. So definitely pick this one always. Yeah. So those are the field mods I would suggest. For the builds, for the equipment, I think the main one that I would use almost all the time is, wow, broken, is put the turbo in the improved slot. What is happening with XGG? Broken? It's broken. Okay, well, we're just going to use our imagination. Turbocharger in this slot. And these two, they're kind of interchangeable, but I just basically did improved aiming and vertical stabilizer. It's really hard to do this without the without the pictures. Man, it's killing me. So improved aiming, V-stab. Those are because it's all about the gun, right? These two things are all about the gun, and I think normally I would put vents in here, and you might be tempted to put vents in because then view range, and I can help that reload. And no, I think the two things that are big about this tank are getting the mobility to where you can use it, because you want to be flanking things, you want to be getting in a position where you can put the 210 HESH round to use, and so it's mobility and making the gun work. So those are the two things that I would focus on for this equipment that you can't see because reasons. Now, for an alternative build, I think what I would probably do is focus on vision or something like that, right? So if you're in a map where it's like Prokhorovka and there's no light tank, then in that case, now all of a sudden you can do like the low noise exhaust in your improved slot here, and now all of a sudden you have camo to actually hide. You know, that's pretty good. And so then you can maybe put in like optics, and again, I can't. You have like maybe one person has a view range skill with your optics. That's almost decent. That's almost decent. And then from there, then you can maybe do vents or something like that. And it's really hard to do this without the pictures. But you know, you could have a vision centric build for those maps. But mostly I would be using the turbo, the V-stab, and the improved aiming to make the gun work and everything else. So those are the builds. Let's get into the game. All right, so we're going to be following me playing in my Cobra on my press account. I use this account to zip all the way up and get enough battle pass points to get this and play a few games and show you guys what it's like. And again, in this game I have the the pink turbo and the pink improved. No, I think there is an pink improved aiming and then a regular V-stab and food. And you can see just how long it takes. Like I'm still not even halfway, a little more than halfway done reloading, and I almost got tipped over by the Chimera. Very good. But you could see it's very, like, it turns quickly, right? It doesn't get off a line very quick. You can see me kind of struggling in that regard. But look how fast it reverses. Like, it just feels very snappy, and you'll see where I reposition in other parts of the game where I'm just like, I'm all over the place. It's almost hard to drive, honestly. If it was any faster, I think that it would be hard to drive just because it turns so quickly. So that's kind of something. And right now I've got the HESH round. I'm just waiting for something to be isolated, because what I really want to do is I have the clip. Oh, okay, and here's our first victim. This Pantera is probably going to be trying to do things. He looks like he's trying to put a flanking rounds in. And now I'm going to see him here. I'm aiming for a flat spot for my 210 pen. Look at that, 900 damage in 2 shots. I low roll, and then boom. Okay, so that Pantera is dead. And just to put in perspective, the Pantera had a clip. He had a clip, and he shot me 1 time. I traded 1 for 4 with a tank that has a clip. And I will say I probably surprised him. He didn't know where to aim, yada, yada, yada. But the point is, you can dump the mag in this thing so fast. And you don't, like, 210 penetration means I just had to aim at the front hull of the Pantera. Anything that's squishy, any paper mediums, paper tank destroyers, anything that doesn't really have really good, reliable armor, and you're in with this thing. Like, even the front of some heavy tanks, if you're hitting weak spots, 210 will go in. So right now I'm just, it's basically the Cobra is all about trying to maximize your clip, right? And so now I'm out of the fight for like 40 seconds, and I'm reloaded now, and I see the Skoda is going to die, so our entire left side is going to win. So now I'm trying to make sure that we can collapse in on their base before our heavy tanks die, because they don't look so, like the peninsula is not looking great. So we want to capitalize on the map control that we have and take the rest of the map before our guys lose the right side. So I'm gonna take a shortcut here. I see we have basically we've assembled the blob, right? And we're probably going to win this game unless we really mess it up. And again, this isn't necessarily the normal game that I would show you, but it does illustrate kind of the strengths and weaknesses of the tank. So you can see the mobility here, how almost twitchy it is when I move back and forth. The halt reverse, and I like the turbo. Thank God to the turbo, I can actually go above 40, because 40 feels kind of slow, especially for a medium tank. There are heavies that are way faster than that. But here we're getting in position, thank God, and put one round into the M12. And now I don't see the Lorraine must be behind that hillside, and so we're just going to go to the next one. I've got a full mag. The T110 or the T103 is there, and he just shot. So now I know I have the reload here on him. I'm aiming for something flat, 477. I miss that last one. So the middle one I didn't pen, and this illustrates kind of the drawback, because now I'm screwed. The Kunzi-Panzer's on the corner. That T-103 is alive. I have 40-something seconds to think about my life, and so my whole job here is to try to get under the gun of this Kunzi-Panzer, get into this rock, and just sit and hope and pray that he doesn't try to push me. So that's probably the moment that I decided to show you guys this replay, because it shows, like, yes, I should have probably killed that T-103, but because I didn't aim perfectly and I didn't pen, all of a sudden now he's alive and I'm clipped out. And so if it weren't for my teammates, that would have been that missed shot would have cost me my tank. So that's the danger of having a big clip that has a long drum reload. But now here we are up again. I've sat and waited, and I'm not going to go for him because I want more damage. That IS-2 is dead, and yeah, we're gonna get a full clip. Let's do it. I was hoping I could maybe eat an IS. We see the Yag Tiger, put one in his lower plate, and there's a Cupola, and that guy's dead. And now here we go. There's a full health ML2, and I was just gonna see what I could. Oh, he's looking right at us. So you can see how quickly I could kind of juke. I just juked to the right because he was looking at something. So now I'm underneath his gun. I have 2 rounds in the mag, and I juked him again. He thought I was going that way. I'm going this way. I'm just going to auto-aim into his side, and I just did 934 damage in 2 seconds. Or a second and a half. It's just... that is the end of the game, and it was a shit stomp. But again, I just wanted to show, like, what this thing is capable of. And wow. Alright, so at the end of the game, we got 4,400 damage, 4 kills, and 200 assist, and we blocked exactly 1 round from that Kunzi-Panzer for 390. That gave us a second class only, but again, I just wanted to show you guys what the tank could do, and I felt like this game kind of demonstrated the ups and the downs. Also got a high caliber. That ended up getting us 1,061 base XP, which again, that's just a second class. Like, this is not even as good as the games. Somebody else is going to have a way better game than this, but I played this one, and this is what I had today, so here we are. And you can see also, I did make some money, right? I made 56,000 credits, but I think a lot of that was just because of this mission. I had a mission for 80,000 credits, so without that, I probably would have cost myself, math, 20 or 30,000 credits, because again, I'm shooting the HESH. I'm shooting the HESH rounds, and I think even though all of those penned, did any of them not pen? Well, no, yeah, I guess the T-103 didn't pen, but beyond that, you know, it's just, if you want the performance, you got to pay for it. It's kind of like the shit barn, right? If you're going to shoot the good HESH, you're going to pay for it. But otherwise, I think the tank is good, and probably not good for the game, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. All right.